Welcome to Garage Branders, the podcast that dives into the world of omnichannel commerce and highlights the innovators and trailblazers behind the brands driving today's connected retail landscape. Support for Garage Branders is provided by Tandem Tide, a performance marketing and omnichannel commerce firm, helping brands thrive in today's digital marketplace. For more information, visit them at tandemtide.com.
List, so she's getting a little bit of extra TLC.
And what's her name?
She doesn't have a name yet, so I'm open to suggestions.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe by the end of this podcast, we'll have a name for your baby goat.
Right. So yeah, so she's inside, like under the heat lamp, and just making sure she gets plenty of love.
She's sweet as sugar. When was she born?
Know. She was born what day? All the days. We've had 7 baby goats in the last 4 days. So
can we call her Cupid since it's Valentine's Day?
Oh, I think my mom wanted to call her Luna because she was born on the full moon. So
I like that too.
That was yeah. And then we have one doe that's due to kid today, so we're watching her on the screen.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
It's a baby boo.
Okay, well, everyone, welcome to Garage Branders. I'm Brandy Alexander from Tandem Tide, and this is Julie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Seacrest from Tandem Tide.
And today we're talking to Shelbie Flegal with From Goat to Soap. And we want to hear all about your origin story and your product and your brand and the goats. So, maybe, just tell us how you got started with this.
Well, it's been 3 years. So this is the start of our 3rd year in business. And I started with COVID, kind of like everybody does the crazy, well, I'm trapped at home for COVID for 2 weeks, so why don't we start a farm?
I love it.
I love it.
So we got a couple of chickens, and then, we have an acre and a quarter here, so we thought, why not get a couple of goats? For fun. And so we ended up with a couple of goats, and my husband was working from home and everybody was kind of trapped at home. So we thought, why not? And then my son developed eczema. So when he was like 18 months old. And so we were looking for cures and all the things. And we came across goat milk and goat milk soap. And I was looking and I was like, we have 3 goats outside. Like, what are we doing? And
why are we paying for this? And we could make it on our own.
Exactly. Yeah. So I started doing some research, and we got our does bred. And so once they kidded, my husband actually was the first one to learn how to milk a goat, and so he actually taught me. Funny enough. And
wait,
so
how did he learn? Did he learn on YouTube, or did he actually
YouTube? YouTube. Yeah,
YouTube
can YouTube University, right? It can teach you anything. And yeah, because I went out there and I was like, I don't think we can do this. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm not going to get milk out. And he's like, I've got it. And so he went out and did it, and he's pro. And so we started with that. And then I was putting just the goat's milk like on his skin, and that seemed to help. And then we kind of looked into soap. And when it comes to soap, there's so much that goes into it. There's tons of different chemical properties. Like every single oil you can add into the soap does something different. So you have we have olive oil, shea butter, coconut oil, avocado oil, and jojoba oil and castor oil in it. But you can literally do any oil, any fat. Like some people make soap just out of like beef tallow. And so there's 10 million ways to make soap. And so I researched it, we trialed it, we did a bunch of different kinds, and we ended up coming up with, we call it Soap Recipe 5.0. Which is the one we're doing now. And it I can't market it as that it cleared up his skin, but for us personally, it helped clear up his skin. And I was like, well, let's see what we do with this. Mm-hmm. And so I had some friends that were requesting it and stuff like that. And so at Christmas time, we made like 800 bars of soap. And so we thought it'd be fun to give as Christmas gifts and all the things. And we ended up selling them in like less than a month. And then people were like, hey, do you have more of that? And I was like, I do not, because I don't have a lot of free time. And so I talked to my mom, because my husband actually deployed earlier that summer in September. And so he was on a military deployment for an entire year. And I said to my mom, I said, what do you think about starting a business right now? And she's like, okay, let's give it a go. And I talked to my husband. I said, hey, like I'm I know you're gone, but I'm thinking about starting this small business. We're not going to invest a ton of money in it. Me and my mom both put in $750, and that let us kind of get all the supplies to start it. And so what math? That's $1,500. So $1,500, we decided we were going to see what we could do with it. And 3 years later, we've really grown. We do about 10,000 bars of soap every year. On track now. We've added lotions and stuff like that. So it's been a whirlwind. It's nice because me and my mom both do have full-time jobs. So like every penny we spend like on the business, like we take those profits, we put it back into the business. That's cool. Fortunate to be able to do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and then you go to the farmers markets too. That's how you were really able to get it out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do, truth be told, like email marketing and marketing online is very tough. And trying to figure out like where to put those marketing dollars. And so I found that like meeting people face to face and that word of mouth tended to be like the go-to for when the product first started. So we did the Perrysburg Farmers Market every Thursday, and then we do the Toledo Craftsman's Guild and the Toledo Night Market. And so that has been very, very beneficial. A lot of word of mouth. And then we also are in a couple of stores. So like we got into Makers on Main in Genoa. And then we're actually in Sauter's grocery store and a couple of different like local coffee shops and stuff like that. So the word of mouth is spreading, and now it's just trying to figure out where we want to invest more into like the email marketing side of things, Google marketing and ads. And so that's where I struggle. Cause I mean, I'm a firefighter. My mom's a nurse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So like we don't have a background in business. So like everything I'm learning, we are learning on the fly. And we are lucky that we have a really good family friend who is a big tax guy. And so he's kind of taken us under his wing for the tax side of things. And we're learning that slowly but surely. But it's a lot. Like coming from somebody who knows nothing, it's a lot. You know, it's not just making soap, which I wish it was.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, running a small business is a lot. And that is what, a lot of people that listen to this podcast care about is like, how do other people do it? And how do you scale it? And it's such an interesting story. I mean, you have a lot to juggle with just, basically starting your own farm. But yeah, the marketing piece, I mean, that's our expertise. So Julie, like when you look at a small brand like this and just knowing the brands that you work with, like what are some tips for how you take a small brand to that next level?
I mean, first, the fact that you, like Brandy said, you're juggling so much. You have a farm, you have kids, you have a full-time job, and you have this brand that you're building. You can't learn it all. So it's like, there's no easy button for any of it. So, and it feels a lot of times like that digital presence can be a barrier of entry for growth and everything else, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, there are, tools out there that can help. You're on social media, you have a great social media account. I mean, and you have a great website. I mean, those are two key elements that I think any brand would need to have at the start, is just building up that audience from the start there, where you can meet them online from the farmer's market. So you're already connecting the dots there. Yeah. And then, from the email piece, it depends on the cadence that you want to do and the, if you want to run specials, or what programs you want to do. I mean, it's all about setting out what are my goals and what budget can I spend on marketing at this point, and figuring out that side of it.
Yeah. And that's where we're trying to figure out like our budgets right now, because our biggest thing from the beginning was, and part of the reason I think we grew slower is because like it was very important that we grow the business debt free. And so we didn't want to take out credit cards and be stressed, that we have to sell this, we have to sell that. So we grew slower because we could only grow as much as we sold. So then we buy more product and we make more product. And so there was that kind of balancing act. And so now going into year 3, we feel like we have, we have a lot of bulk ingredients, we have the storage, we have the infrastructure. Of course, now we're diving into like shampoo bars and conditioner bars. So I just bought a bunch of products to like test for those. And we just got our lotion out, which is new. But other than that, we really don't have, the expenses that we had in the past, leaving, a little bit of a little leeway in the budget now to spend on marketing. And that's where I feel like, we're kind of looking for some people to help. And, we don't know. Luckily, we do have a lovely local graphic design artist who actually helped us with the website. I kind of did the bones of it, and then she kind of tweaked it. She's helping me learn SEO, which is something I didn't even know. That was like a foreign language to me.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and so it's Rebecca Ray, and she works, I think, full-time for The Blade, but then does her own marketing stuff on the side. And so she actually did our packaging for our
I love
soapbox.
the packaging. It's super cute.
Yeah.
So you're almost at the point of, all right, we're ready to grow. We need to figure out our next steps on how to widen the market size that we have.
Yeah, and we know. Yeah, because I think we do want to stay smaller, because I think there's something to, like, you can buy goat milk soap anywhere. And I think, like, we have that fine, I don't know. There's some, like, when you look at like Dr. Squatch and those bigger soap companies that, like, they have a commercial space, they have, some, like, Dr. Squatch cuts it with these giant machines and all the things. I don't want to be that. Like, I like that I have my hands on every single bar of soap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like that. And so I know, like, reasonably what me and my mom, and we did hire recently somebody to help us make soap. Like, I know what we can do a year. And so, like, scaling it to, like, I think we could easily do 30 to 40,000 bars of soap a year.
Just you guys.
And just be
and your growth. That's amazing. It's a dream team of women here.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And then my poor husband that's sitting there edging bars of soap while he's watching TV at night,
He's along for the ride.
Yeah. Tell us about how, like, I mean, you're doing this out of your house, right? Like, you truly are like a garage brander. That's what I love.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole book about that.
Yeah, we have, we got lucky. So we built our house. We have we have like a 1,900 square foot house. It's nothing crazy. But it's a very, like, open layout. And so we have a lot of extra counter space in our kitchen. So basically, like, right now, like, our one counter in our house is always dedicated to something soap. Like, my husband just gave up on it. He's like, okay, I need this space for cooking. He's like, you can have all your soap crap over here. And I was like, okay. And so he, so, like, right now it's got all of, like, our testing ingredients. So I'm, like, testing different conditioning and shampoo bars. But then downstairs we have our soap storage room, which used to be like dog kennels and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I have working dogs for the fire department. And so now they just are upstairs in regular kennels. And so we have, like, shelves upon storage. So we have, like, I think we have about 2,000 bars at any time down there stored. And we have a little shipping station where I have all the boxes and everything ready to go. And, all the bulk ingredients and stuff. Like, we keep the essential oils have to be stored in glass. So we have, like, glass 5-gallon jars of essential oils, and it's a whole thing.
It's a whole production facility.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So we got lucky that we kind of were able to manage the space the way that we could.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I know that you're a full-time firefighter. Is there a dream to maybe step away from that and do this full-time at any time, or?
Hard, because I love my job. Like, I love being a firefighter, and that job also does come with a pension, and so I'm 7 years vested in that, and that's a big decision. I think my husband's thought potentially about retiring early, because he can retire early from the state, and he doesn't love his job as much as I do.
Yeah.
And so my job's unique because I work a 24-hour shift, and then I'm off for 3 days. So I don't work like your typical Monday through Friday. And then I can also trade my shifts. So, like, I don't, like, this year, I've already traded all of my shifts for all of my markets. Like, I haven't used any sick time, any vacation time, so it's really kind of, I think if I had, like, a 9 to 5, that I might, like, lean into the soap business harder and try to make a go of it. But I don't have to. And so I don't think I will.
Great flexibility. So
yeah,
that's,
I have
and that's incredible because a lot of entrepreneurs don't have that.
Yeah, right.
So that's great.
Like, even like at work too. So we do training, we clean the station, we have different PR events. But like once your job is done, I mean, a lot of the times by 4 or 5 o'clock, like the rest of the time is our own. So like I can do my business taxes, I can do, marketing, I can make reels, I can do tons of stuff, even while I'm at work, which is nice.
Okay. Yeah, that's super interesting.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got a good social media following, right? And it's sort of growing. And I follow you on social media ever since I met you at the farmers market. And tell us a little bit just about what are some of your hacks for social media.
Being consistent, I would say that is like the most my biggest hack for that. And like even if you're only getting 1 or 2 likes or whatever, like just still being consistent. Doing like it's so hard, but like you have to be creative because there's so many like there's so many farm pages out there. There's so many small business pages that are just posting the same stuff over and over. And like for me, I hate being too salesy. Like people know I sell soap. People know I sell lotion. And so I hate it like when I can do it like over Christmas time. Like I think I made a post about it. I was like, all right, I know there's a lot of soap sales, we have this product and this product and this product, but people also want to see like the goats and the farm life. And they don't want to be bombarded with like, buy this, buy that. Because whenever you scroll through Facebook, that's all it is ads. You know what I mean? Like you get one cool like personal post and then it's ad after ad after ad wanting you to buy something. So that's like my biggest thing is try to like bring people into your life and like your brand. Like just pushing a product is not going to do it anymore, in my opinion. Unless you've got all those marketing.
You're having a conversation with your audience. And I think that's really what you've been able to develop is more of a conversation and less of a sell, which I think is great. And I think that's probably been somewhat effective for you, right?
I think it's been very effective. I also think, especially in this day and age, a lot of people I see, like they like to bring politics into things. And I always, actually, I took kind of a break because I was getting a lot of messages and stuff from people that were asking just wildly inappropriate. I was like, why are you asking me about my political views? Like, because I'm a farmer and people just assume and all the things, and I won't get into that. But I just basically was like, look, and I made a story kind of about it because I had been off social media for like a month because I was just done with it. And it was kind of nice because sales still stayed up during that time. But I just said, look, if you want to come to this page to see goats and kids on the farm and how to take care of goats and soap and great products, follow us. But like, you're not going to get anything from me other than that, and I didn't get any followers that dropped off or anything like that, but I hope that it kind of put, that kind of stuff to bed. I also try to be honest when it comes to that kind of stuff. So like if people ask a question, I tell them how it is. I don't try to sugarcoat things. And people enjoy that too. Like they know what they're going to get from me. It's a little bit blunt, but a lot of honesty, you know what I mean? And so I think being like your true self and not just putting out, this kind of facade that you think people want to see,
Right.
Like,
no, you nailed it.
I
mean, that's really it.
Yeah. Like I'm not,
you want to be
there,
friends
like,
with someone who's going to be themselves to you, not someone that's putting up a front and not being themselves. And that's, like, and that's really that conversation.
Yeah. All the pretty things. Like I'm in there with my dirty Carhartts, usually have goat poop on me at some point, you know what I mean? And I'm like, this is it. This is real life.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, very authentic for sure. Yeah. That's wild that people were asking you about your politics. Was that before making a decision on, purchasing your brand, do you think?
I don't know. Maybe they were like, we were hoping that you would have more an opinion and try to take a stance with your influence. And I was like, I don't.
I sell soap. I don't want to get involved with the rest of that.
I'm not trying to influence anybody other than to maybe look more into their skincare products. Like I can't.
Right. Yeah, that's
game I want to play.
I'm assuming that has subsided a little bit then, hopefully.
It has since I made the post. But like we've even had people come up to me at farmers markets, like, and talk to me about politics. And I'm like, And I just kind of smile and nod because I don't, like I can talk to anybody and I genuinely love talking to my customers. Like there's so many people that like I just get so involved with like their lives and all the things. And I might not know you by name, but like I definitely know you by face. And then I feel bad because my mom will be like, who were you just talking to? And I was like, I don't know her name, but I know them because
she's a big fan.
Yes. And so it's hard, but like it's almost like I'm a captive audience. Like you can say whatever you want to me. I'm going to smile and nod, but if you're going to buy $100 worth of soap, I don't necessarily agree with you, but you're buying soap. So,
right.
It's hard. It's hard. It's finding that balance,
My dog's barking. I have animals over here. Hang on one second. I'm going to mute myself for a second.
It's the farm, right? It's a working farm. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's next for you in your adventure? You don't want to scale too big, but I do have a question for you about your retail footprint and expanding into retail, because soap is such a, you want to pick it up, you want to smell it, you want to experience it, and you've got such an awesome brand and such awesome scents. Yeah. Tell me about what you want to do with retail.
So I would love to dip more into wholesale. Like that is my jam. I think like we have really streamlined our soap process. Like me and mom can crank out like 500 bars of soap in 4 hours. You know what I mean? So like I would love to get more into retail. We had another local grocery store chain that we talked to for a while, and they didn't end up going with us, but I don't really know how to dip my toe into that. We got lucky, I think, with Sodders because like a friend of a friend knew the owner, you know what I mean? And he took a chance with us. But I would love to know more how to get into the like retail space, because I love that, like that. It's just easy. It's nice to just, they want 200 bars of soap. I package it, I take it, I get a check, we're done. Yeah. And so I would love to see us branch into like 5 more retail spaces this year. I would say that's probably our biggest goal. And then our second goal would be like, I want to solidify the shampoo bar and the conditioning bar and get those products out there as well. So we have 3 new products coming this year. It's shampoo, conditioner, and lotion bars. So we want a preservative-free option to our current hand lotion that we have.
I love that.
And then, testing it, making sure they're perfect, and then getting the packaging out is like a whole, like people think you just like make a product and give it to people. And there's so much more, that goes into it than that, So getting that stuff done, I'm hoping by the spring, and then really reaching out to the different retail places. So
we can help you with retail, first of all. I think that's definitely something we can help with, just with connections that we have. But, what would you say to other people that were thinking about starting a brand, their own brand? Like, what's some advice? Because it's one of those things you don't know until you're in it, doing it, figuring it out. But then looking back, like what would be some advice that you would give?
I think you have to have a passion for whatever you're doing. Like, I think if you just start a business to make money, I don't think it's going to do anything for you. I think you have to find a brand and a product or a service that you believe in, like that is helping people. Even if it's something like, even if it's not, like, I feel like I'm helping people have better skin, but I have a good friend, Callisto Terra, she does candles. And now she's got a mobile candle service. Like, she is helping people relax. So it doesn't have to be like you're helping somebody's skin. Like, find a passion that you have for helping your fellow man. Like, I really do feel like that is, if you can help people with your product and you're passionate about it, I think that's my biggest advice to building a brand. So
you're taking it from like a give back standpoint. Like,
because that's
back and you get back.
Yeah, because I think even if we weren't making, like, we're doing very well for ourselves. But like, even if we weren't making a ton of money, I still think I would make soap just on a smaller scale, because there's so many people that like it. I mean, they buy soap from us every single month and they need it because it's helped them. It gives them peace. It helps their dry skin. It helps their babies, not with itchy, dry, rashy skin. Like, so I don't think in good conscience I could stop doing it. So, but it's kind of like my job too. Like, I think you have to have a job, like whatever your regular job is, you have to have a job that you want to go to work, find something that you have a passion for. And then I think the money will come. If you have a passion for something and you want to do something and it is for a good cause, then I think the money will follow.
Yeah,
kind of,
I agree with that. I love that philosophy.
Yeah.
And you've done it in 3 years. So, I mean, you don't have to share your revenue, but I mean, you've obviously scaled the business. You're doing well. Yeah. It's growing.
Yep. And it's sustaining itself.
Yeah. Well, so I will say we did celebrate in January. We took me, my mom, my dad, and my husband and all the kids. We went to Disney in January.
Nice.
We did it with we did it with profits from the business. And so we were like we didn't spend a dime of our personal money. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at us. So, so that was it was such a good feeling. We're just like, wow, we're really doing it,
Yeah.
So,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. Yeah. Very cool.
And the cute little goats all along the way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before we sign off, can we see the goat again?
Oh, yeah. Come here, little girl.
Oh my goodness. I just love it. How many goats do you have, Shelbie?
So I have 12 adults, and then we have 7 babies right now.
Wow.
And we have 1 doe that's due to kid today. So we're watching her on the camera. And then we have 4 other does that are due the rest of the year.
Oh my gosh.
And then we also show the goats at the county fairs and stuff. So we'll be out showing goats too.
I've always wanted a goat. Always.
There's so much fun. We do sell quite a few for pets too.
I don't think I would be allowed to have one.
Come on.
She lives in
Cleveland. You have to keep them in pairs.
Yeah,
too.
no, I live in a very I have a very small yard. The goat would just not.
You don't think you could?
My dog would not love it.
You don't think you could convince them that it's a dog?
I mean, maybe. I could.
Maybe.
Oh my gosh.
My neighbor does have chickens, so.
Well, see, there you go. It's totally fine.
That's so cute. Well, and what I love about what you have here is it's literally the brand name is from goat to soap. You're not just like a factory making goat soap.
Right.
You're literally taking it from the goat and making soap.
Yes. Yeah. We're full service here. And that's too, because you have to breed. So you can do extended lactations with the goats, where they'll milk for years on end. She's hungry. But we breed every year so that we can get kind of max production out of them. So that means I don't want to just kind of like people breed dogs. I don't want to just breed just indiscriminately. So breed. We do milk testing. There's a registry for the goats. So we do LA scores. I mean, we are breeding a quality goat on top of doing the
care. You care about the animals. They're your pets too.
Yeah. Yep. And the kids show them. So we travel all over. We go to 6 or 7 goat shows a year. So we travel all over doing that as well. So
that's
Yeah, that is awesome. Do you know another goat soap company that is like you guys, where you're literally a goat farm too?
So actually, I think that's another important part to branding is not viewing everybody as the competition. I think that's huge. And so actually there's a friend I made on Instagram called Arcadia Soaps, and they don't show like we do. But they live in Arizona and they have a small farm and they have a couple of goats and they also do, soaps and lotions and things like that. So there's a couple of them out there. And I think honestly, why would you buy goat milk soap from somebody that doesn't have goats? It seems silly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Right. No, I love that.
There's another couple local ladies. I think there's Sunshine Farms in Jerusalem. I think they do it on a slightly smaller scale than we do, but so there's a couple of local people too.
Yeah. Yeah. Super interesting. Yeah. My favorite farmer's market to big time success story is Jenny Britton and Jenny's Ice Cream. She actually wrote the foreword of my book, and she started, just like you, making ice cream, at the farmer's market, bringing it down there, serving scoops, and now that, that became $100 million business. It took some time, but I mean, you can do that from the farmer's market. Yeah. It's one of my favorite stories.
And I'm sure she was one of the most passionate people you could ever meet about ice cream. Do you know what I mean? Like, she
Yeah.
knew the ins and outs of it. She loved it. And that's, I mean, if you love what you do, the money will follow. I'm wholeheartedly, you know. But so like right now, we're just trying to put the right people in our corner to kind of help us navigate this new.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like our business is kind of taking a turn, you know, and trying to navigate that. So.
Right. Cool. Well, I think that's a good place to leave it. I love that. Give back mentality.
I love that too. It's so important. You're speaking to me.
So how can people find you, Shelbie?
You can find us on social media at Flegal Family Homestead, or you can find us on our website at fromgoattosoap.com. And then we should be at the Perrysburg Market this spring, every Thursday for 3 days.
Awesome. And people can subscribe to get soap in the mail, like on an ongoing basis, right?
Correct. Yep. We do. We have a subscription, and then we also have a homestead pickup too. So if you're local to Northwest Ohio, you actually don't have to pay for shipping. You can come by it to the farm, and you can pick it up from our drop box.
Oh my gosh!
Some baby goats if you're around. We had somebody do that this morning. They stopped by and they were like, "Can we see the babies?" And I was like, "Sure."
Oh, Julie, you definitely need to take your kids down.
I'm going to swing by next time I'm in town for sure.
Absolutely, anytime. We always welcome visitors.
I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shelbie. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Yeah, no, not a problem. Love talking to you guys.
Take care.
Yep.
Welcome to Garage Branders, the podcast that dives into the world of omnichannel commerce and highlights the innovators and trailblazers behind the brands driving today's connected retail landscape. Support for Garage Branders is provided by Tandem Tide, a performance marketing and omnichannel commerce firm, helping brands thrive in today's digital marketplace. For more information, visit them at tandemtide.com.